Well, previously, you have talked too much about these internet speakers or marketers or coaches, and their sales strategies and everything. Let's look at the opposite. Let's look at somebody who was successful without having to rely on any sales tactics or any courses or any programs or anything like that. He just focused on one vehicle, but made it so good that that made him famous across the world. And he put himself out there. And before that, he was still doing the stuff, but nobody knew him. But once like he got out there and he just like changed and the content was so impactful. And then just after that, he has revenue streams like book deals and stuff like that, but also like speaking stuff that he does, but still like he's not like on your face. He doesn't have any bad intentions. And just because of that, I have so much respect for him. And you can feel his presence the moment he walks into the room because he genuinely cares and he's genuinely so good. Anyways, who am I talking about? I'm talking about David Goggins. All right. And the reason I am covering all of this is because I had the honor of being in his presence across like a tour that we did in my previous workplace when he was sort of there as one of the headliner speakers. And Goggins doesn't sell courses. Goggins doesn't have value ladders. Goggins doesn't have sales models or anything like that. Yet you would think, why, despite all of these things, he's one of the most successful and most impactful and inspirational figures out there that genuinely transformed life, which was sort of the main goal of the overall coaching industry and everything else. Where when he steps in, like you can, like, it's hard to explain, but you can actually feel it. Like Goggins, Tony Robbins, these guys every other speaker that went in before them, you could feel like there is something that you just can't put your finger on, but maybe it's because there's something to sell, maybe they feel inauthentic or whatever the reason is. And Goggins, genuinely, the entire energy and passion and the way he stepped in. And I'd like to understand that, to be honest. What is the secret or what is the process that enables you to be at that level? Maybe it's like life of genuine struggle and achievement and beating and achieving things that people thought was impossible, as well as everything else. But yeah, again, David Goggins, not your traditional coach in the sense, but he's still a millionaire. He's still somebody who's successful financially. He's also probably 10 times more successful than a lot of other coaches that are just focused on that might have sales systems, might have value ladder and stuff like that in terms of his audience, his influence. He doesn't have a YouTube channel. Like, can you believe it? He has Instagram. And he deleted half the posts from his Instagram recently when like he went to an event and it felt weird. And like he didn't like the sales environment, so he just deleted all his social posts about speaking at events. But again, he is speaking at more events as well. But just like he's so authentic and so badly authentic, it just feels like he's so sure of himself and aware of himself. And that surety and that confidence and that understanding of life and everything that needs to be done is probably what rubs off on others who see him. And that's maybe why they look up to him. And I remember him answering questions from stage. Like everything that he answered, like the only last time I saw somebody do that was Gary Vee. I've seen other speakers, I don't want to name them, but many popular ones don't have that in them. Like it's kind of hard to explain, but in real life, when you meet them, they don't feel the same way they might be appearing off on their content. Goggins and these guys were better in person. All right, but anyways, so David Goggins, let's quickly look at what he has done. Maybe some of you want to go down this path, maybe you don't. Who cares? Instagram. What about Facebook? I don't know. I think these are the only he's on other platforms, but in terms of his social content, like that's literally all there is. He has like bloody 116 posts on Instagram, doing like ultra marathons and everything. And there's like honestly not that much content. Like, when was this thing posted? It was posted on, what's the date? 16th June 2024, a year ago. So he's not actively creating content or putting himself out there, yet he's so successful. And the reason for that is because the books and the things that he has already made can't hurt me, and the recent one never finished, which came out in 2022. are just so good in terms of quality. And this is like the example where quality just broke everything. But it's not like this thing happened over a day. It was his entire life where he suffered and achieved things and pushed himself through greatness and did things that were genuinely impossible and like actually did it. I've read books about people talking about breaking your limits and doing all these things, but this person, you can has the proof that you feel like he has done all of those things, right? He lives that way. He's taken that levels of action. He's done those great things. Even recently, he had three surgeries when his legs, and they said that he couldn't walk again. And his knees are gone, and they realigned the whole bloody thing, and he spent 1.5 year and just finished a marathon again. And there are so many lives that he has changed, people who have been in their dark times, and they needed somebody like him. And just like being a Navy SEAL and everything else that he has achieved. And Goggins is and like he doesn't do a lot of podcast experiences. They're like his own personal shorts. He has 2 million followers over here. This was posted on 14th August. What about before that? Oh yeah, I remember this thing. Oh, he didn't delete it from here. He deleted this from Instagram. Well, we were present at this event. Uh, but who cares about that? I just want to look at him for the things that he has achieved and the stuff that he has done. Still, nobody would have known Goggins before he published the books, so he still needed attention. But this attention came from the sheer fact that the quality was so good that people couldn't stop but to, and they're literally just two books. That's it. And then, yeah, he used to create those shorts about running and telling people about life, but the quality of the content was so good. And the impact it had on somebody was so good that by default got people to respect him and the less available he made himself. Like this is the other extreme of massive amounts of action that Grant Cardone does, where he's like posting 10 pieces of content every single day. Goggins does less of it. Um, doesn't force himself to do any of it. Yet, because of that, and because there's quality, his overall exclusivity and overall desire for people to want more from him increases. And I'm sure he gets more and more effort offers every single year for deals or for tours or for podcasts and stuff like that. But again, the ability for him to consolidate his value and stay true to it and make that the priority and not dirty his overall message or his brand image is pretty impressive. And maybe this might be the path that some of you, I don't know if you would be able to take it, to be honest. But maybe some of you out there who have similar hardships. This is what like the whole point of this video for. You might have extremely sad stories. You might have had abusive past, or you might have gone through things that are nightmarish, and other people in the world don't get it. They can't get it. And because you've seen the world for what it is, you do things in a different way. And you know that you can't like just ignore or become carefree in the way that others live their lives, and you know there's impact that you could create, or you know there are things that you could make people aware of and problems you can resolve for them to save them from whatever pain or suffering or whatever self-sabotage they're going through. Using your story as the anchor. And you need to put yourself out there. You need to do it because some of you are just so good. I know it because I've been fortunate enough to meet a few people like that. Not at Goggins level, but that were similar, but nobody knew about them. And they wanted to have an impact, but they didn't know how to put themselves out there. This is like a case study for it. Write a book, do anything, start. Because you might never know. You would like what is like the sheer level of difference that you could make. And then about monetization, many of you might not want to become the next billionaire. If impact is the goal, then that can be done from your content alone. And you would, and like money would find you. You would get speaking engagements, you would get invited by people, you would get opportunities. And you don't need billions as a matter of fact. In the modern day, you just need internet. And you need a strong message that can resonate with people. And for those of you where the goal isn't money, then this authentic, your true self, and the message alone should be enough. If you're making enough that you're not like broke or you're not like have being forced to do things that you don't want to do, then just walk down this path. All right. You have stories, you have things that you know that only you've gone through, and some things that only you could do, that you could utilize to inspire others. Others can't do that. I can't be Goggins. I could do my own part, but I can't do what he has done. Many of you might be like that, so don't let that go to waste. All the people that Goggins has inspired, there could be people that you could inspire to, and they won't know you, not until you put yourself out there. And if you're feeling cringed out by the not wanting to create these funnels or offers or courses or things to sell or all of that stuff, then this is the other pathway. But you just have to be so good and be so unrelentlessly providing people value that it would catch on. And it might take time, it might be difficult, but that's the path you picked. So you better have the energy to commit to it till the end. Right, and I'll see you guys in the next video.